Greetings everyone, I hope you're well, having a great day. I'm Donovan, welcome to Burnout and Brake Stuff. This week's BBS video is a continuation of last week's BBS video as we make progress on our 57 Dodge Power Wagon. In the last video we were able to replace our valve cover gaskets, get our steering sector installed. We didn't have the opportunity to check on the thermostat, and I also was able to get this week I was able to get the steering linkage connected and some mock-up drag link and a mock-up pitman arm for testing the steering. I need to make sure that the steering, where the wheels will hit the stops on the axle and not the lock to lock on the steering sector. So anyway, let's go check out our progress and see how we did. It's quite interesting. You'll want to stick around to the end of the video. So in doing so, I want to thank everyone for stopping by, checking out what's going on. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the objective commenting, especially the sharing and subscribing. Those are all good things. And I wish well to everyone. I hope everyone has a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Now let's go get into this BBS video. Well, if you noticed from the last video to this video, we've cleaned up our front appearance a little bit. I did not care for the white and olive drab and red and black behind the grill there, and I wanted to return the piece of trim, the crosshair, to the lower section where it belongs. And so that's where we are with this. It looks so much better. Let's take a look under the hood and see how we did there. Okay, their hood up. Last week we were able to get our valve cover gaskets replaced and our wires rerouted, clean them up a bit. We're able to get our steering sector in. The casting number in there is 7802644. It's identical in number to the one that was in here that I removed. One would think that would work quite well. Did a quick stick it up on the firewall, ballast resistor, and some quick wiring there to get that to work so it's not laying down here on the engine. So we're doing well under the hood. Then on the interior of the vehicle, I was able to install a temperature gauge and determine the gauge opens at 185 degrees, so that's good. And next up, let's go ahead and test out how we did with our power steering install. Here's where the fun begins. Let's see how we did. We have our steering sector installed and our mock-up pitman arm, our mock-up drag link assembly. So let's give it a start up here and see how we did. Okay. Look at that. It's so smooth, and the wheels move. And I'll give it a different perspective from outside of the truck as one sees me steering left. It's nice and quiet. One steering back to the right. Now I'm turning the steering wheel to the right. give it a different perspective from outside of the truck as one sees me steering left. It's nice and quiet. One steering back to the right. Nice. The unfortunate side is, showing from the front camera angle, when I turn the steering wheel to the left, the tires, the wheels turn to the right, and vice versa. So my steering sector is identical part number as the one I removed, but for some reason it turns in the opposite direction. What's up with that? Now that's just plain fun. Basically, I got my ass kicked by this truck all week long. The video didn't turn out all that well, and I apologize for that. And I didn't realize how much of a technician I was going to have to become on this deal. I didn't install the steering sector in this. I didn't modify this truck originally. I bought it that way. And the steering sector that I used in the truck came from my 73 D100. Has the exact same casting number as this, looks identical to it physically in every single way. And when I connected that up and I fired the truck up to test out the linkage, and I see the wheels turning in the opposite direction as the steering wheel, what could I say? I was shocked. So I'd never seen anything like that, couldn't figure any of that out. So the truck had issues with its Dana 44 in the steering knuckle to begin with. The steering arm, the bolts in it were too long and they were jamming up at the bottom. The threads are messed up, and I had to take the steering arm off. And these are shims for a Dana 44 for its steering knuckle over there that sets the bearing preload. I didn't know any of that stuff. And so I had to dig farther into it. I had to get out, service manuals and do some internet searching, that type of thing, to find out the Dana 44 axle for the front is basically the same from 1957 to 1968. Well, in 57, they had a different hub arrangement, 5 lugs, they're 7 1/4 inches apart. And at some point in time, this had an axle from a 1959 3/4 ton Power Wagon placed under it. Like I said, I don't know when the steering sector, when the power steering update was done to it. I have no idea. There's nothing. I have a whole thing of service records, maintenance, repair, that type of thing. And the only thing that's in here is the custom drag link was made in January of 1998. And I cut that drag link apart because it was too short. It wasn't working in this application. And I think that's part of what ruined the steering sector, was it was using the steering sector's stops as the stop for the wheels on the axle, which is no good. So anyway, found out, the axle from 1959, that makes sense. And I finally found out the ends for the custom drag link were made out of tie rod ends for a 57 Power Wagon. It's written here. So that was helpful. And I found a drag link through Rare Parts, but it's $320, and it has the right dimensions on the taper for the ends, for the tie rod ends and all of that. Basically, I think they did the same thing. They took tie rod ends from a 57 Power Wagon and made a sleeve for it, just like this right here. This is from an A body, so I can do adjustments, toe in, toe out. So anyway, I tried to show from inside the vehicle, turning the steering wheel to the left with the camera on the outside, and I couldn't get it lined up to show that quite properly. So you win some and you lose some. You have a difficult week or whatever, and this one was a tough one. Took me a while to figure it out, why it would steer the opposite way, and I believe I figured it out. the 1973 D100 two-wheel drive truck. That steering sector was laid over on its side and it was cross steer. And having enough power wagons, enough trucks around here, I was able to walk around and finally figure out in 1977 the W100s, W200s, that type of truck, they use this. It looks identical to this, except for it's oriented just like this. The steering sector arm comes out to the driver's side and the pitman arm is vertical, perpendicular to the road surface. So I figured that stuff out. So it took me a long time to do the Sherlock Holmes, connect the dots. 1959 Dodge Power Wagon 3/4 ton axle, 1977 W100, W200, so Power Wagon steering sector, and yeah, the pitman arm, or pardon me, the drag link arm is made out of 1957 tie rod end. So given that, I should be able to now take this in a direction of getting it repaired. So my apologies for the suckdom of the video and trying to show what I've got going on, but like I said, we have bad days, bad weeks where sometimes we get our asses kicked, and that's what happened to me this week. So I appreciate everyone stopping by to view what's going on, you know, getting one step closer to getting everything fixed and getting the 57 Power Wagon on the market for sale. So thank you very much for stopping by. Greatly appreciate you viewing, liking, sharing, subscribing, all those good things. I wish all the best to everyone. Thank you very much. Have a great day.